Oh yes, all aboard.
What's up guys, welcome to another episode of the Drift Games vlog. As you can see by the shorts and the t-shirts, we are not in our shed anymore because we'd die of hypothermia. We're here in the Middle East, we're back at Lunatics By Nature HQ, and off camera, before we start this video, some big things have happened. So I'm going to show you guys around some of the cool stuff here before I talk about it, but I may have bought some engines and gearboxes. Get to that in a second. As you guys can see, this is where they maintain all of the cars. Love this, by the way. New setup on Danny Neville's car. There's an LS3 turbo. Quite a big turbo.
I always think it's a sketchy place for the turbo there. It's kind of
right beside the wheel.
if you get a crash in the wheel now.
I like the colour scheme on this. Really bright inside, really dark outside. I think it works really well. This car is very, very cool. This runs 700 horsepower now. Stock LS3 internals, but everything else uprated to high heavens. So really nice car. We're going to see that at the competition this weekend as I run into an airline. This is apparently going to be running the next time we're here. So this is an LS Mark IV Supra. We got a little sneak peek of the body kit going on this car. Never seen a body kit like it in the world because it's so expensive no one would ever buy it. It's going to be the maddest Mark IV Supra in the world. I'm going to make a big statement on this video and tell you we're going to see this. We might even get an exclusive launch of this car in a couple of episodes time when we come back in a couple of weeks. But yeah, stay tuned for that. As you guys know, they have a ton of cool stuff here. But actually, even though they have all of this amazing stuff, you guys, they randomly bought from Pakistan all of these little
like open tuk-tuks.
Yeah, little tuk-tuks. And buried in the middle of all the tuk-tuks is Eleanor from Gone in 60 Seconds, which is really funny because obviously, like, I would be petrified parking something that close.
I was going to say, like, that's our Spirit Ray car. That's the other cars, and that's close.
That is one of the Eleanor recreations that go baby go and all that stuff. This car, I just want to show you very quickly. So we found out, you know how much power this is running, Josh?
I know how much power this is running.
V12, yeah, 1,150 horsepower in this car. Over $1 million car now. SL 65 Black Series, but it's in white, which is confusing.
Can we start that, do you think?
Think we can start it? I think we can start it.
Well, I'm just saying. Oh my god. That's how you know it's an expensive car. The key is...
The key's here.
I'm accidentally passing it. I hope it doesn't accidentally fall into the ignition.
Sneaky start. We'll do sneaky just for the vlog.
Doesn't sound like a V12, does it? That sounds angry. That's...
The door is cool.
Oh my god. This is no normal AMG.
Just get out of here without breaking anything would be nice. That back there, Josh.
It's like we never took it.
You saw nothing. This may just look like an S-Class, but put this in terms. So you have an S-Class, then you have the highest level AMG line S-Class, then you have an AMG S-Class, then you have a Brabus S-Class, and this is a tuned Brabus S-Class.
Which is mad, they don't have the Mercedes badge on it even, it's just the Brabus.
So this car, 1,000 horsepower. 1,000 horsepower.
And the size of a train.
Look how cool the interior is of this. Like, that is gangster. Look at the seats.
That is nice.
That is so cool.
Dave, the
Adam O'Connor's ready for action.
He's in his weapon for the weekend.
Imagine bringing the cones around in this thing.
This is actually a
You know what
practical thing.
You know what I think is the best thing? So
The side seat.
this is the
side seat. Okay,
Go side seat.
we can put, logistically, how does this work?
Oh, I can just like...
You're going to get an elbow to the ball sack very quick there.
Absolutely. I want no place.
What I love about this is it's absolutely brand new, but it looks like it's from the 70s.
Yeah.
It's not even, it's clocked over 1 mile. 1 kilometre.
kilometre.
One kilometre.
Pulling it in here, I would say.
The smile says
The smile
everything.
says everything.
Anyways, the smile of the bank account got smaller when a deal got approached.
So, what happens out here is people show you shiny things and then you go, I can't afford that, and then you start working it out in your head, and then you still can't afford it, and then you make a deal, and you still can't afford it, and then you're kind of in the deal, and now you've got to go and figure out how to afford it, and that's kind of the situation I'm in right now, because something in here has caught my eye, which is for my Corvette. I know that sounds strange.
Adam's just walking, shaking in the background.
Did you buy a quad bike, did you? Wow. Did you buy a quad bike?
Oh, the electric scooter. Did that catch your eye?
Do you know what this is, ladies and gentlemen? This is a freshly built LS3 with Mass Motorsport heads and a fully built and forged crank and a cam, and this engine will make about 720 wheel horsepower all motor, which is about 800 horsepower flywheel, 200 horsepower more than my LS3, and a direct drop in.
This is the mad fact, I think. So low down power, it's double the horsepower of yours.
Double the horsepower in the low and mid range, and in the top end it's another, 20%, 30% horsepower. And it's a straight drop in. So obviously I have a Samsona to Winters, and my car makes about 610 horsepower. Dropping this engine in would make it 800 horsepower, which would be jazzy.
Which would be to the moon.
There's no need.
No need.
But there's a need at the same time. So yeah, let's if you want to buy my LS3, it might be coming up for sale, but this is anyway. So here's another box of tricks. So this is funny because this is an original parts box from my Mustang. So the Mustang was here this is actually where I met the Mustang all those romantic years ago. I met it here in this very, very room. And this is the complete conversion to make that car naturally aspirated. Now, as you know, on the previous videos, Adam had a little bit of trouble with the engine. We can reveal it's not as bad as we thought. But I do think the car, for what we're using it for, which is like bashes and pasture runs and demos, runs way too much horsepower, 900 horsepower. It sounds great, but living with it and running it means less laps, more fuel, more tires. So this is the full conversion to take it back to naturally aspirated. So as you guys can see, there's the intake, there's the throttle body, this is the plastic intake for the Coyote. All the Ford racing parts are in here, and a spare random tail light.
I was going to say, the light has nothing to do with the
Nothing to do with it. You don't have to change the light to make it NA. But this is going to be coming home with us as well. We're hoping maybe to put it all this stuff on a pallet because there is more. But this is an NA conversion, which with the Link ECU we'll be able to do. Take it off race fuel, make it much more. It'll still be 500 or 600 horsepower, just all motor. But and all motor means no turbo or supercharger. I'm getting very American with that phrase.
All motor.
All motor. So basically that means that it's a much simpler car to run, less things to go wrong, and Adam should be able to get a lot more laps in it. That's the plan.
Not blow it up.
I like how I have to give Adam something back so I can kind of justify what's going on over here, so he doesn't get too mad and he doesn't talk to me for the rest of the trip. But
Then you had to compensate with something else, obviously, to balance it
I'm
up.
doing something for the Corvette, I got to do something for something else as well. So let's go outside and check out what might be the solution. Actually,
To no problem.
to a problem that I don't have.
Exist.
The problem that
An hour and a half ago.
Yeah, but now hold on, Adam.
Is this?
No, didn't buy that. Oh,
You should buy it. Is it for sale?
So over here we have an Aristo, not a very nice one, but mind you. It was prepped for bodywork, was a drift car, but that's not what interests me. What interests me is the fact that it still has the standard lock. Is this? This is a 1JZ with all the toys. Bigger turbo, intake, manifold, and a gearbox, and the loom, and the whole shebang, bar and intercooler. And this could be the perfect drop-in package for the GX100 to essentially make it.
This is the only drop-in package.
Yeah, that's the only way to go, isn't it? So I have
The sensible daily, you say.
the sensible daily. Anyway,
Just the big turbo 1J.
just a big turbo 1J, yeah. So this car is actually, so Peter, who runs the team here, has an option for me to buy both engines, 2 gearboxes, and try and pallet them all back to Ireland. Put my sunglasses on because it's very sunny.
It's going to have to be a big pallet, if I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah.
But the deal is quite good. So I'm going to have a little mow over that now in the next couple of hours and figure out exactly how I'm going to do that. And our good friend Nigel Colfer hopefully can help us with shipping it back to Ireland. And that would mean the GX100 would have, I'll get a Link ECU, put that setup in it, and it would be like a monster. And then the Corvette would be 800 horsepower NA which would be a monster, and then the gearbox, and then the Mustang goes the other way. It would be more reliable gearbox and actually do more laps. So that would solve a lot of problems that we didn't have, but I kind of feel like
it solved a few problems. With the gearbox, that solved the problem.
The rest is totally
the rest.
Corvette runs perfectly, but more power is more power, you know. Anyway, so we're still working on that deal. This deal is literally, as we're filming this only happened like half an hour ago, an hour ago. So a lot of you guys think this might be pre-planned, but whether I want to take the engine, the 1JZ and the LS3, the gearbox for the Mustang and the gearbox for this, all back on a pallet, I'll try and work out a deal over the weekend and let you guys know in a later episode if that's what's happening. If it is, I'm quite excited because the GX100 would be like a proper machine then. And it's getting further and further away from my daily, but it is going to be cool. And then obviously the engine, like to try and run 800 horsepower NA, it brings my car from a high national level car up to sort of a European standard level of power. So I already have a Samsonite in the winters and stuff, so it should be okay. So I'll have a think about it. We're working out some of the smaller details, but we've got a job to do here. Obviously we're running round 3 of the Emirates Drift Championship with Monster Energy, so we're going to head over to Yas Marina. We got the rental cars packed up. Now it's time to get to work.
Okay, so we're in the Yas Marina circuit on the skid pad where we hold the event. We've done this event a fair few times, so we kind of know what we're doing and all the dimensions of the area of what we're measuring. So we have to measure out the track. We do that using circles in different radiuses, which makes up a perfect drift corner, if that makes any sense. How do you describe a track?
50 shades of circles, that's all it is. It's circles marked inside circles.
Different radiuses of circles?
Yeah, different radius of circles. That's drifting. Like, you all want perfect arcs, except for little transitions, which we're actually on. We're on one transition at the moment, which is kind of a teardrop inside the circle. But essentially, if you look at a track map, if you break it down, when we get measurements, there's like millions of different little circles inside each, and it's just connecting them all up. But like, if you look at FD and oval, like the oval, it's just a big circle with 2 straight lines, middle and mix in the middle.
Yeah, we're just drawing that now.
Yeah.
I've got the easy job here now. Oh, you're making a mess. Look at that.
Oh, no way, anyway.
Oh. He knows what he's doing. The secret to any track measuring is a rental car.
It's pretty much been used in every single track I've ever designed. So what I'm trying to do now is just take this for a spin and make sure that that clipping zone in the middle is doable. You gotta come fast. Push out to this zone.
Yeah, you're gonna be going fast in this.
Yeah, and you're washing, you're braking, you're turning in, you're on this kind of an angle. I think that's 2 in. I think we need to come back more over here. So more this way. Yeah. Slowing down, get around. Ready for spray. So I'll tell you when to start spraying.
This is a pro job now.
Beautifully. You good?
I'm good.
Yeah. Go.
I'm good.
Help myself now.
Last time was perfect. Go.
Yeah. It's like connect the dots. Hopefully that explains how a track is made. Or how we make a track anyways. Probably lots of ways of making tracks.
I think that worked out lovely.
Good burnout.
Don't burn yourself out.
How the f did I miss?
Oh no, look at you.
I've cleaned myself.
So while we're here in the UAE, we're still repping Link ECU, and to be fair, everybody else here is too. All of the top drivers in the Middle East run Link ECU products, because even here in the extreme heat, the Link ECU keeps those cars running all day long in the most demanding conditions. So if you want to pick out something for your car from Link ECU, check out linkecu.com for their full range.
Okay, so we're a day before the event, so we're at it's a practice night there, pre-event warm-up sort of thing. I'm with Keen Droney. So Keen Droney is, how do I describe you? He was a start line marshal at the IDC. So he's come along, he's helping out for the event, hitting stuff. I did it last event. Very, very easy job. It's very loud here. So I'm just gonna have a quick walk around the paddock. Noise breaks aren't really a thing over here, right?
No, definitely not.
So we come, I would say, halfway around the world, not halfway around the world, a bit around the world. And what do we see? Some Stroms. So this is one of the Saudi Arabian drivers. Nicholas Solomon, you competed well in pretty much every EDC event and Saudi Arabian event and everything like that.
I've been with EDC since the beginning of it, I think.
Since the beginning, an OG. So you've been talking about this car for a long time now, like.
Yeah, it's time, you know, because if you guys know I'm on the E30, it's an old chassis, and the drift cars have progressed so much these days, so I had to build a new build, and this is it, E92.
This is like a ridiculous. The size of the turbo on the front of the car.
Yeah, the turbo. Well, the turbo's big because the engine is big. If I were to do it again, like the way I never built a turbo LS before, so the way I researched, people who do turbo LSs are drag racers, so they have big engines, big turbos. And now if I was going to do it again, I'd go for a smaller engine with a smaller turbo. But because it's a big engine, it's pretty responsive. There's like no lag in it. It's working very well as it is.
What's the horsepower?
It's about 850 torque at 4,000 RPM. So
4,000 RPM? Jesus Christ.
So I really don't have to clutch kick it much, but if I want to be more aggressive and get in the pocket and stuff, I clutch kick it sometimes.
The cleanest thing on the inside, like, is that HGK dash and dog box and the whole shebang. Right, well, good luck out there, dude.
Thanks, bro. Thanks.
Right, we can't obviously go through all of the cars here because there's so many of them, but let's go through a few of our favourites. What's your favourite?
I like this GT86.
That's a coincidence because we're actually walking up to it right now. Have you seen under this yet?
No, not yet.
Attention to detail is... Oh man. That's very clean. I even like the heat shield there. I think this driver's nickname is Iron Man, hence the Iron Man. Cool, should be looking at that.
It is cool.
We're in a street car class, so you don't need a cage or anything. You do a single bungee, you just get judged on that. So that's what those cars are doing. You see this kid on the board? You'd be deaf by now if you're on the start line.
That man has been to King of the Ring before.
Yeah, I think you should go put a cone in the middle there. Okay, it's actually a small spot, so we can't really put a cone there. We may just mess them up. It would be nice though if we did. You're giving more attention to the trucks than the drift cars.
I do love the car.
Now hang on a second here, Johnny. So I asked this question the other day. How many have you owned IS200s?
I think it was 16. I think.
Were any as nice as this?
Yeah. No.
If you didn't catch our last UAE video, we actually went down to Sultan Abdesti's place. That's the person who built this car and gave a full look through, so up to, I don't know, a thumbnail picture or a link or something, so go check it out if you're interested in this absolute masterpiece of a car. The attention to detail is ridiculous.
It is unbelievable.
Did you know the exhaust to get a shotgun like that? It comes out there and goes,
No way. What is? It comes back around.
far from an IS200 now.
It's not really nice 200, is it?
So last month when we saw this car, it was all crushed carbon. This is same person, Sultan's Aston Martin. But look at this. I don't think he can put himself to put it all red. So no, you'd have to have something. But it's a nice bit, it looks cool. I'd say he's got the best of both worlds here.
And I used 100 in Aston Martin. Obviously.
I was meaning crushed carbon and candy red. It's not what you see every day. Okay, so just a quick track walk. I'm gonna go out with my better lens and get some track footage. The noise is ridiculous.
Alright guys, so that's the end of this vlog. We are not going to shoot the event tomorrow, and the reason we don't shoot it is because we're obviously shooting the event as a media team. I've got to judge, all the boys are really busy throughout the day, so it's kind of not fair to try and do a vlog on top of not putting full concentration into our job here, which is to make sure the championship runs great. So unfortunately though, we're not going to show that, but we have lined up some incredible shoots here, and one of them I don't think has ever been recorded on YouTube. That's coming up over the next couple of episodes. I promise you do not want to miss what we're going to see after the event. So stay tuned, hit up the merch shop if you want to grab yourself some Drift Games goodies. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and from us here in the UAE, we'll see you on the next one.